Hey everybody. Okay, so here is the key for practice one. Um, first question here. A method for solving this equation is shown below. Identify the property used to obtain each of the two indicated steps. So what I'm looking at here is basically I'm trying to decide how did I get from this line to this line. So this one's not too bad. You'll probably notice that what happened was that this was distributed. So 5 times x minus 2 became 5x minus 10, and negative 2 times x minus 5 became negative 2x plus 10. So that's the distributive property. Okay, so then I have to look at, well, what happened between this first line and this second line? And what I noticed is that these two terms, negative 10 and minus 2x, they actually switched places. Okay, if you look at the next line, you'll notice that the negative 2x is now in front and the negative 10 is in back. That is when we are switching the order, and when we switch the order, that is called the commutative property. Now, in this case, we're talking about something being added or subtracted. So this is actually the commutative property of addition. I don't think that that's super critical, but you should still be aware that that's addition and not multiplication in that case. All right, let's move on to number two. Number two is a pretty straightforward solving problem. You guys are pretty good at these by now. So what I want to do is I want to get all my variables onto one side of the equation and all my constants on the other. My ultimate goal is to isolate the variable, get the variable by itself. So I'm going to start by subtracting 2p from both sides. And that's going to give me 5p minus 2p is 3p, minus 1 comes down. This cancels out, and I'm left with 20. So now I want to move the constants to the right-hand side, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. 3p comes down, negative 1 plus 1 cancels out. 20 plus 1 is 21. And last but not least, I'm notice that 3 is being multiplied by p, so I'm going to divide by 3. Divide both sides by 3. 3 over 3 reduces to 1. I'm left with just p. And 21 divided by 3 is 7. Now, I could go back and check that if I wanted to. Remember that we're looking for solutions. So solutions are the value for the variable that makes the equation true. So if I have 5p minus 1 equals 2p plus 20, I should be able to put my solution in for p. I should be able to substitute it in and get something that's true. So 7 times 5 is 35. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 20. 35 minus 1 is 34. 14 plus 20 is 34, and there's my check. So now I know that p equals 7 is my correct solution. All right, moving on. Same thing here. This is the same thing. I'm still solving. I'm trying to find the value for x that makes this true. This one's just a little bit more complex. So I want to do all my simplifying up front. So simplifying is you're distributing and you're combining like terms. So I'm going to move over here. I'm going to distribute this first. So this is going to give me 3x plus 3. The minus 5x comes down. And then I'm also going to distribute here. Now, if you have struggled with this, you may want to put a 1 between the negative sign and the parentheses. That will allow you to know that you're actually multiplying by negative 1. So this becomes 12 minus 6x plus 7. Okay, now I want to combine like terms. Now remember, combining like terms is only on one side of the equal sign. So I'm going to combine like terms on this side, and I'm going to combine like terms on this side. And since I'm only working on one side of the equal sign, it's not inverse operations. It's just combine. So what I see over here is I see a 3x and I see a minus 5x. So now what I see a lot of people do is they add 5x or something. That would be inverse operations. That's not what we're doing here. 3x minus 5x is negative 2x, and the plus 3 just comes down. That takes care of the left-hand side of my equation. On the right-hand side of my equation, I have a 12 and a plus 7. Notice that when I do my circles, notice that I include the sign that's to the left of the number here. That makes me know that I have to add like a negative 5, and here I have to add a positive 7. Okay, so 12 plus 7 is 19. Whoops, wrong tool. 12 plus 7 is 19, and then the minus 6x just comes down. And now I'm solving just like I did on the problem above it. So I'm going to choose to add 6x to both sides. So that gives me negative 2 plus 6 is 4x plus 3 equals 19, and that cancels out. Now I'm going to subtract the 3 from both sides. And I'm going to move over here to the right-hand side. And I see now this is going to cancel out. I'm left with 4x equals 16. And then last but not least, I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. That gives me x equals 4. Just like the problem above it, I could do a check. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute in. So I've got 3 times 4 plus 1 minus 5 times 4 equals 12 minus 6 times 4 minus 7. Okay, so what I would probably recommend is that you put this entire left-hand side in your calculator all at once, and then put this entire right-hand side in your calculator all at once and see what you get. I'm going to go through it step by step. So this is going to be 3 times 5 minus 20 equals 12 minus 24 minus 7. Okay, 3 times 5 is 15 minus 20. 12 minus 24 minus 7 is 17. So 15 minus 20 is negative 5. 12 minus 17 is negative 5, and I have a check. So it looks like this one worked out. So there you go, solving equations and knowing your properties. That's really going to be the theme for this week, and we'll see you for the next one.